All right, I have another video for y'all today, and it is Gojo Satoru in this Crossverses battle. Gojo Satoru versus My Hero Academia's Class 1A. So, scenario 1 and scenario 2, we have scenario 1 being in JJK, they'll fight in Shinjuku. Yeah, I know manga readers know about Shinjuku, right? They know about Shinjuku, right? But in scenario 1, we fight in Shinjuku. The second scenario, we fight at UA High School. Yeah, and that's Gojo versus all the students in Class 1A. Deku's there too. Max power, all right? Well, even with all this, right? Physical strength goes to Satoru Gojo. Satoru Gojo in JJK is like the strongest current day sorcerer. We know who's stronger than him if we read the manga, right? But everybody else is like, they can't hang with him, man. They can't. So physical strength goes to Gojo. Now Deku is actually, he's actually pretty damn strong. I ain't gonna lie. He kind of contends with him a little bit, but not as much as you think, man. Because of Gojo's hacks. That's why it's like, if he was like a bit stronger, like if he was like planetary, which he ain't, I would, give Deku that, but striking power, lifting power, that shit goes to Gojo. Speed goes to Gojo as well. Deku has decent speed, but I'm putting my money on Gojo's speed there. These verses are kind of similar in speed and shit, right? But Gojo, right? He's the fastest, even faster than a guy who uses like a curse technique to amplify his speed. He's faster than that guy, who I'm pretty sure is faster than Deku as well. That being said, Gojo wins that. Durability, Gojo can't even damage this man. They don't have enough firepower to damage this man. Not enough AP. Endurance, Gojo. If you know the manga, that's not short. It ain't a short fight. It ain't short. The guy he can stand a long fight if he has to. If he has to like break them down because these kids are like running away because they know that they can't win, he can still pick them off one by one. And, if they do decide to be heroes and stand, if they all come at him at once, he's enduring that. Any kind of pain they can throw at him, whatever that's supposed to be in this situation, right? Intelligence goes to Class 1A. I do believe Deku and maybe Ida and even Yari Rosa would try to come up with a plan. They'd be like, this is a guy who, in his world, he's the strongest, right? So we gotta not fucking sleep on this guy. This guy's like All Might. This guy's like, Shigaraki, if not even stronger. So we have to like really work together, and they'll like try to strategize a plan and play to people's strengths. To try to beat this guy. They'll come up with some kind of plan. And I do believe they got that. Now, experience goes Gojo. Gojo's a grown ass man. These are little kids, essentially compared to him. And they are, they're like 16, 17 years old, right? And he's like, 20 something, almost 30 or 30. This is a grown ass man fighting these kids, right? Close skills go to Gojo. Gojo knows Wing Chun technique. Gojo, and I will, say, he was, doing his thing against, who in the manga, and he was, and those kids don't have any kind of, the guy on their team who has the best hands, Kirishima, I guess. Nah, man, he ain't doing it. Like range skills go to Gojo as well. Blue, red, hollow purple. That can basically these moves can basically take out any kind of attacks they got. Like their strongest attacks, it's basically like rendering them fucking useless. Right? We got Riku going to Gojo. He knows reverse curse technique. These other people don't have healing factor, right? We got Axe going to Gojo. Now his domain expansion. Once that shit, once that shit opens up, and he don't even need that to win, honestly, y'all. But if he opens that shit up, they're done. They're done. All of them are done. He can't, Deku cannot do shit. There's no, you're gonna be like vestiges and all this other shit. They ain't gonna help him out with that. He's gone. And if he's gone, they're all gone. And they will, fall into that domain. Especially if they all attack him at once, he might just try to end it like that and be like, right? Environment goes to Gojo since they're finding in Shinjuku. Second scenario, no surprise. Gojo has physical strength, speed, durability, endurance, intelligence. I give it to the kids in class 1A. Experience goes to Gojo. Close skills go to Gojo. Range skills go to Gojo. Recoup goes to Gojo. Hacks go to Gojo. And then environment goes to class 1A since they're fighting at My Hero Academia, UA Academy. But that don't help them out at all. And I'm saying this, man. If Gojo's going in there and he's not bloodlusted, we're just gonna say he's not bloodlusted, right? These are a couple kids. He's gonna do his thing, kind of how not really taking them seriously too much. But then he's gonna he's gonna turn it on eventually and beat their ass, right? So low difficulty, but he's beating them. He's not taking much damage at all. That's at all. But be cool, call in the corner, and let me know what you think about Gojo versus Class 1A in the comments.